I've got notes, I've got notes because they are afraid of Bederow. They're afraid of Bederow. Notes, I've got notes because they are afraid of Bederow. Afraid of Bederow.
A good cause exists to grant this motion because Mr. Bederow is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Okay, in all seriousness, if you don't know this face right here, hello, this is attorney Mark Bederow, and the Commonwealth is very afraid of him. You see, there is something about a no-nonsense, no bullshitter New Yorker that just petrifies Hank Brennan. Even Judge Cannoni today was like, you know what, team? Just send me over an affidavit, and then I'm going to agree to it, and then everything's going to be peachy keen.
But as soon as I get another affidavit that has a little bit more in it, I'll likely allow the motion.
Understood. And would the court require further oral argument, or do you anticipate potentially allowing it on the papers, Judge?
I would probably allow it on the papers unless I know there's an opposition, but
Okay, thank you.
it's rare. All right, but I need a more detailed affidavit.
And then all of a sudden, Hank Brennan stood up and goes, I don't oppose, but I oppose.
Next one's paper.
Maybe her brief.
Yes.
You want to be heard on the Pro Hog? Oh boy. Okay, well, the Commonwealth would like to be heard on the Pro Hog Vice, so...
I did just say unless there was an opposition. Is this an opposition?
It's not an opposition, but I have some thoughts that I want to share with the court.
Okay.
The one quote that really got me was when Brennan kept stating that because witnesses have been abused, that's one of the main reasons why Bederow shouldn't be on Karen's team.
There is a history of documented evidence showing the sharing of discovery between the parties. And inevitably, that discovery is promoted in such a way that abuses, harasses, and bullies witnesses in this case.
Do we need to go back to what the juror said about Jen McCabe, Colin Albert, Brian Albert, and Kerry Roberts being there one of the last days of trial?
You were there on obviously the closing day of closing arguments, and Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Jennifer McCabe walked into court and sat with the O'Keefe family, and just the way they were positioned, they were staring directly at you. How did you feel about that?
It was a little intimidating. And I say intimidating, it was just at the end. I think we're all at that point where we want this to have some closure. And I think it was slightly intimidating to see everybody there and all the players there, to some respect. I wouldn't say so much that I was fearful, but intimidated by everybody staring at me, right? So, or looking at me, and I say me, but it really is the group, right? The jury.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was the O'Keefe family that allowed people to sit with them that intimidated the jurors. You think he's going to be a problem? Really? Now, if you don't know, Mark Bederow is also a part of Turtleboy's defense team. And that's something that he kept bringing up, that because Turtleboy has dozens of indictments, there's already a relationship between Karen's team and Aiden's team, that there's an ongoing understanding between the two teams, and that is supposed to be an issue. That because they have this mutual agreement that there's going to be leaked information, because there has been leaked information, which the Commonwealth, coming from them, that's kind of rich.
That there's an ongoing, long-term, implicit mutual assistance and mutual defense that they've been a part of for a long time.
And Hank Brennan, although he is not going to go out with a motion or put out anything, he's asking for Judge Cannoni to put through something privately, just to see, have a secret meeting and see what's going on there. That meeting, by the way, is called a ex parte. Look at me knowing my shit.
I think the court should have some caution and some concern, and should consider some type of inquiry ex parte without the Commonwealth present, about the nature of this joint aid agreement and the history of it, and whether protected information was ever shared prior to Mr. Bederow presumably joining this case, and whether there's protocol in place that if there is protected information in this case, that it does not leak again. It does not get shared with a non-co-defendant. I don't even know how to describe the relationship.
And that ultimately, people like Jennifer McCabe should be able to walk into the courthouse and not get abused or harassed.
And these witnesses should be able to walk into this courtroom without fear, without bullying, without abuse, and that has not happened. For many reasons, it has not happened.
Yeah, you heard that right. The only thing that this proves is the power that this man has. One can only speculate on the reasoning why Hank Brennan is so afraid of Mark Bederow. Maybe it's because of the Bederow letters that we saw in Aiden's case.
And so inevitably, you have Attorney Bederow who will be serving two masters.
Because if there's something that Mark A. Bederow is, it's thorough and organized. Can I just say how much I loved the writing of all of these letters, the Bederow letters? Anywho, it is going to be very interesting to see what happens after all of the shenanigans that happened at that hearing. But here's to praying that we keep Alan Jackson and we get to see Mark Bederow together, because I just feel the writings of the two of them together is just going to be chef's kiss.